Hello everybody, thanks for invitation by the way, and it's a pleasure to come here to talk about SDG. I'm, as Joost mentioned, I'm from TU Delft. I'm working on Technology Policy Management department, the faculty. The department is part of the Faculty of Technology Policy Management. And so we are working on the terms related to this multidisciplinary action between technology policy management. But today I'm talking about SDG9, so Industry Innovation Infrastructure, which is really broad. So basically it can be everything. So industry innovation infrastructures, it can be linked to anything. So I will try to make some kind of the planning strategy for the SDG, particularly for SDG9, and then better understanding of what it says and what we can do with the SDG, and if it's our priority as a company or not. I don't know how many companies are here, or okay, one. I mean,
who else is from a company?
There's a trio as well.
Startup company.
So okay. Actually, I will start. I decided to have it because I think I have 10 minutes. This is 10 minutes, and then I decided to break down to 4 parts. Each part, first part, I'm talking about understanding of SDG9 and its target. The second part, I'm going to priorities, and then setting goals at the third part, and then reporting and integrating of the SDG to the actual business action. So for first part, what is the basically SDG number 9, and what are the targets that we're talking about? Excluding the targets that the means of implementation for SDG9, UN set 5 targets for the SDG9. So we need to go through the target basically, and then back to the slide. So we have 5 targets, which is quite long and also really broad. So, but what we need to consider about these 5 targets, I will go through it later. So basically, it's going to considering the targets and which we have forgotten. So to which the company can make a difference, critical difference, by kind of tackling the risk with associated operation and value chain. So what is important is the operation and value chain in the whole system of the company, and then we look at the SDGs, particularly number 9, into this operation and value chain. And we need to identify also other anticipated targets. For instance, if we go to the targets number 3, so which says the increasing of the access of SMEs and small scale enterprises, in particular in developing countries, to financial services, which means that this is a quite an opportunity identification that you can, as a company in a developing country particularly, to look for the banks or software technology. It could be a good opportunity to set a ground for their actions. And also, as you can see, I'm not going to details of each target, but as you can see, the targets are really, really broad. So it can be linked to anything. And then also, it's basically more or less the same things applies for other targets of the other goals. So basically, it's kind of the interconnected SDG. We can see it from these targets and the other targets, which means that if we have a company like a renewable energy company, which obviously one of the main targets of the renewable energy company could be having a reliable, affordable and modern technology in the energy consumption, which goes to SDG number 7, but at the same time it's basically linked to this target number 4 out of the SDG 9. So that's why we need to talk about what's the priority. What are the priority for us? We cannot go through the 17, can we, or it's a question, can we go to the 17 SDG with around 167 targets, which around 900 disclosure, or as an SME or as a small company, I think is basically impossible, or the allocation of resources is a kind of the big problem for that. So that's why we need to have the kind of the prioritization, which comes later. But prioritization goes to the fact that we need to set up our organization for the particular SDG, SDG number 9 or SDG number 7 or others. So, and to do so, we need to work on the business case for sustainability. So which kind of initiatives are going to be taking place for our company, which are which kind of priorities that we have, and of course engaging the stakeholders within and outside of the company, and try to embed sustainability into practice. So this is applies for all of the SDGs, particularly SDG9, and but also the fact that when we are talking about SDGs, we are talking about a very long-term strategic business action, which basically is really difficult to keep up all the time. So we need to, and also somehow it's often challenged in terms of the values it creates, because it's long-term values. So it has doesn't have a short-term output, and then that's a problem of the problem from the resources side of the company. So what we need to withstand short-term business pressure and perceive the conflicts between the what we are doing and what SDG says. For instance, one quarter we don't have enough money, and then but we are obliged to work on SDG number 9 or 7 or whatever, and that's pretty difficult. For those companies who are big, they have resources to do reporting, it's fine, because they are also allocated tasks. But for a smaller scale company, they need to basically come up with this conflict a lot in the whole process. If they are obliged to deliver some reporting of the SDG or ESG, ESG is environmental social governance reporting for investor. So if you are obliged to write a report for investor at the SDG or ESG, you will face the fourth problem, because of the short-term benefits is basically doesn't exist. So you need to stay lean and evolve and be ready to evolve over time for the organizational setting. And in that case, the most common mistakes with the companies that we can see based on the what is from the research and also practical studies is that lack of management, particularly for SDG number 9, is a big problem. Maybe CEO is committed for the implementation of SDG 9 or combination of SDG 9, 7, 17 and others, but maybe the management is not ready to implement it. So it's not the task, SDG or ESG or whatever terminology we are looking at, it's not the task of the one person or one group. We cannot say that, okay, we have a sustainability group in the organization, which can be embedded in the marketing department or not in marketing department, which it's not, they cannot change the whole system by one group. So it's kind of the joint work of all stakeholders inside and outside of the company in order to achieve the goal. And so to do so, if it's going to be as a core, the SDG, particularly these targets, these 5 targets, if going to be as a core part of the value creation of the company, it's a business plan, so automatically afterwards it's going to be implemented. Or, I mean, we are not talking about if it's going to be implemented correctly or wrongly, at least it's going to be implemented. Then we can also think about, okay, how we can improve the company in terms of the implementation action. But some other mistake is that when we don't have any objectives at the company, so then it's pretty difficult to set the target internally in order to cope with the problems and also fulfill with the SDG requirements. And also kind of the linking the lines of business leaders at the company from the top manager to junior management is really important. As we discussed, missing budget is quite an issue for a small scale company, for SMEs particularly. But you will need to, because they need to see kind of the return very quick, and the SDGs is not the ones that they have the return very quick. It's a long-term strategic planning which has a return, but it's not going to be quick back to the company. So this missing budget and also unclear competences at the company. If we are, as I said, if we are going to embed sustainability department of the company in the marketing, so basically we are just going to doing kind of the SDG washing. So we are just going to promote the positive impacts of the company and contribution to SDG9, but not negative part of the SDG. And also is not the way to go, because so that organization needs to work with other parts. And so all in all, what I wanted to say is that SDG is a common language and a shared purpose. It's not possible one person or one organization, one department of the company can work on it. So we need, as a business leaders and as a business society, we need to have a kind of disclosure setting and practical guide for the companies in order to understand better what we are going to do, and also clear what we are going to do, and then go forward. So yeah, this is for SDG9. So this is the first part of the talk.
Well done.